Hey everyone, my name is MasterMD, and this is an expansion of my TikTok video called Life Hacks and Money Saving. So to get started, tip number one, affordable phone plans. Stop paying the $90 for a phone plan. Switch to smaller carriers like Visible for $20 a month with unlimited everything. I'm not advertising for Visible. That's not, if it sounds like that, I'm sorry. But I just moved my mom from paying $120 to $30 a month by switching her plan and smartwatch plan. And I'm really just trying to share this with the world. The upfront costs did hurt. We had to pay off all the pay as you use it plan parts, the 3 month plan, 3 year plan, you know what I'm talking about. But we ended up getting about $90 per month in savings, which adds up really fast. In a year, that's over $1,000. $1,000 a year can in savings can go to buying a new phone every year. So a pro tip is team up with friends for family plans if you do not want to or cannot afford that upfront cost. It's way cheaper than going solo. Tip number two, know what you want versus what you need. I wanted a fancy laptop for school. I'll be honest. I wanted a nice gaming laptop with a graphic card and everything. Hey everyone, my name is Master MD, and this is going to be an expansion of my TikTok video called Life Hacks Money Savings. Sorry. Hey everyone, my name is Master MD, and this is going to be an expansion on my TikTok called Life Hacks Money Savings. So, tip number one, affordable phone plans. Stop paying $90 for a phone plan. Switch to smaller carriers like Visible for $20 a month with unlimited everything. I'm not saying they are the best brand or advertising to them, but I just switched my mother from paying $120 a month to $30 a month. And it was just a simple plan switch. She still gets unlimited everything. It's just she went from a big carrier to a smaller carrier. Now, the upfront cost did hurt. She had to pay a lot of money because she had to pay off a lot of her devices. But a $90 savings per month adds up really fast. That's over $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year can buy you a new iPhone every year. So, pro tip, if you can't afford that upfront cost and you don't want to do that upfront cost, team up with friends for family plans. It's still way cheaper than going solo. Tip number two, know what you want versus what you need. I wanted a fancy laptop for school. I wanted a gaming laptop with a nice graphic card and everything. But I really needed something for school. They sound somewhat similar. I wanted a nice laptop and I needed something for school because I was doing 3D modeling, coding, and everything on my laptop. But they were still different. So instead of spending money on a brand new laptop for over $1,000, I fixed my old one for $50. It was a $20 Thunderbolt charger to replace the bad port. Well, instead of replacing it, I bypassed it and used a Thunderbolt charger port. And then a $30 battery replacement, which included a 15-minute video on YouTube on how to change the battery on my laptop. Now, is it as nice as that gaming laptop that I wanted? No. But does it do the job? And can I now save money for my dream laptop later down the line? So when I buy it, it's going to be nicer and newer than the laptop I could do right now? Yeah. So, pro tip, buy last year's model, brand new, can save you 30% off. And what I'm talking about is when you go and you see, for example, we're going to do iPhones. When you see iPhone 15 being sold brand new when they just released the 16 and it's $300 cheaper or $200 cheaper, you don't normally see a big drop like that again. You'll see it drop over and over, but it's just not going to be an instant big drop. And if you're like me and you're going to hold your phone for a few years, having 1 year less and saving hundreds of dollars is well worth it. Because when you look at it, when you trade your phone in or you are trying to buy a new one, and you're getting whatever you can sell this for, a 3-year-old phone goes for about the same price as a 4-year-old phone. Tip number 3, DIY and research saves money. Kind of going back to my example about my laptop. Before you buy or hire someone, that sounds bad. Let me rephrase that self. Before you hire someone or you buy a device to help you with a project or whatever, research. DIY fixes saves you so much money. It helped me with my cars. It helped me with my laptop. My $20 charger hack saved me a lot of money by itself because I wanted to use a nice docking system to use the Thunderbolt charger instead of looking into Thunderbolt chargers. It saved me hundreds of dollars. And honestly, I can just say pro tip. YouTube plus Google equals your best friend for quick fixes. It saves you a lot of money and you get to learn, which is kind of fun. Tip number 4, free stuff first. Need help with schools or skills? Combine AI tools like ChatGPT with YouTube before paying expensive subscriptions. Now, that does sound like an ad, but what I really mean is use your resources before you end up just buying something because you feel like it's easier. A quick 15-minute research can save you hundreds of dollars long term. That being said, if you do a subscription and you're just trying to do the free trial, a good trick is to cancel it right after you get the subscription because you'll get the subscription for that month or whatever time period. And when it ends, you're not going to be charged for it if you forget. So my example I wanted to give is Python. I am learning Python right now. I looked at YouTube channels on how to do Python. That got me to the basics. It gave me in the beginner projects, and then they wanted to lead me into subscriptions. So before I wanted to go into subscriptions to really test myself, I reached out to Chat. I said, hey, what projects can I use for Python? And it gave me a list of projects, and then I started working on them. And because they're now intermediate beginner projects, Chat can still help you. And yes, I do know Chat has limitations, but everything has limitations. Your professors, your TAs, your tutors. Just know their limitations and your limitations before you just jump on a subscription level. Because if I save 2 months of self-learning with AIs and Chat, AIs and YouTube, that's 2 months of subscription fees before I have to lead into subscriptions or get someone to help me. So, pro tip, ask your professors or TA. They often have tricks that the textbooks don't. They help. That was so true in school. I am a little sour about that right now. Heck, my dentist even gave me advice on ways to save money. So, tip number 5, it's a really common one. Credit cards and smart savings. Start building credit early. Use your card wisely and pay it monthly. This kind of ties into all my tips. If you do not have self-discipline, no tips, no tricks, nothing's going to help. You have to have some self-discipline. Don't go out and buy a Lamborghini when you get your first credit card. Oh, well, if you have that big of a credit, maybe you could. But don't go buying the newest gaming system. When I got my first real job, my good credit unlocked better cars and deals my friends could because one thing I had that they didn't had a credit score. And credit scores grow normally if you're responsible. I went in with a few years of credit score behind me, which helped me have a stronger score. So, a pro tip is to know good debt isn't bad. Know the interest rates and use it to your advantage. Another example is savings. You hear the CDLs and all these little tricks of getting better interest rates. A simple one was, for me, was I looked at my online brokerage account that I used for stock trading, found out they were giving 5% interest rates. My savings account in my local bank was giving me less than half. And if you don't know what 5% interest rate is and how amazing that is for a basic savings account that's federally insured, protected, and all of that, I think you need to go and use your resources of AI and Google again. Those are your good friends that you're neglecting because that's amazing. So I transfer a majority of my cash into my online brokerage partnership bank. That's just a bank, but with great interest rates. And then I left a small amount in my local bank so I would have easy access to cash. Because there's pros and cons. So I looked at what I needed and what I wanted, and I used it to my advantage. So, final tip, think long term. Thinking long term can save you money down the road. When you think longer term, you're not just spending money up front, you're spending money down the line. So you are able to, when you're thinking longer term, take note of that. An example I think of is paying $25 for a shirt that lasts a few years versus a $15 shirt that you have to replace a few times in those few years that your $25 shirt would last. That might be a little confusing, but an easier way to say is I was in the service industry in school. Wow. I was in the service industry in school. One thing I noticed was good shoes, and cheap good shoes. Cheap shoes you buy at Walmart off the shelf. Cheap good shoes, you might buy them at Walmart, but you paid a little bit more than their cheapest version. This kind of tied into what cash did you have on hand, but I found when you buy a cheap good shoe, that would last a good amount. It's gonna save you more money than that $10 cheaper shoes that you bought. Those shoes worn out quicker, they fell apart. I would see people holding them together with duct tape. So start small, save big. Got tips? Drop them below. I hope you enjoy this channel. I hope you'll enjoy my inner thoughts that I spoke out loud that I probably should have had in some of these video parts.